Greetings data engineers and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to ingest data from any JDBC source straight into your Apache Hudi transactional data lake using DeltaStreamer. For this, we're going to utilize RFC-14, which is JDBC based incremental puller, which allows you to pull data from any JDBC source straight into Apache Hudi transactional data lake in a much faster, easier, and a structured approach. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with the labs. Just a quick note, I'm also in a process of writing a blog where all the steps will be mentioned. So now let's get started with the labs. So the first step is we need a Postgres database. For this, we're going to use Docker to spin up a Postgres. So here you can see I have my Docker compose file, and we'll come to terminal and say Docker compose up --build -t. This should start Postgres on my computer running locally on port 5432. Step 2 is we need to create a table in Postgres so we can play with. So let me share my screen. I have given you all the SQL commands, so simply copy this, open up your tool called pgadmin, and let's fire this command. As you can see, the table is now been created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a trigger. That way, anytime a record is updated, there will be a timestamp attribute which will be added. So that way we can pull new data. So now that's done. And now let's insert some sample data set. So here, insert. Okay, some sample records have been inserted. Let's verify. Okay, so now we have some fake data to play with. So step 1 is spin up Postgres. Step 2, create the table, create the trigger, and insert some sample data. Now we're going to learn how we can leverage DeltaStreamer to pull data from this JDBC source in an incremental fashion. Just a quick note, this is going to be exercise 4. The first part was we learned how to ingest data from a Parquet source. Second part, we learned how to ingest data from a CSV source, of course using DeltaStreamer. Third part, we covered Hudi MultiTable DeltaStreamer. And the fourth part, this is RFC-14. We're going to learn how to use DeltaStreamer to ingest data from JDBC sources, okay? Okay, so now let's take a look at the DeltaStreamer part. Okay, sharing my screen. All right, all the materials will be there in the E4 part, okay? So now let's take a look at the Spark job, and then we'll dive deeper into each particular settings. So on line 2, we use the class org.apache.hudi.utilities.streamer.hudistreamer. On line 3, we submit the package. We use the Hudi 0.14.0. I'm using Spark 3.4, so I'm gonna be using this particular package. I'm also using a package for Postgres, right? Then over here, we provide the jar file. The jar file is in the folder called jar. And again, if you don't have this jar file, you can download the jar file through the Maven repository. I'll provide the links in the README file. Table type as copy and write, operation as upsert. I want the DeltaStreamer to run in an upsert mode. The dedupe key is gonna be updated at, which is a timestamp attribute. The source class, meaning now I'm using JDBC, right? So we're gonna use org.apache.hudi.utilities.source.jdbc source, okay? This is the target where my transactional data lake would be created, and then we provide all the Hudi settings through a Hudi prop file. Now, what's more important is the Hudi prop file, which is what I want to cover. So again, my primary key for my Hudi table is going to be sales ID. If you see our PG admin, right, we have a column called sales ID. So that's going to be my primary key. Partition path is going to be destination state. So I want to partition my data lake by state. Precom key is used for dedupe purposes. When you have multiple records with the same primary key, this particular field would be used to dedupe the data. So I'm going to use updated add. Now these are the configuration that you need to use for pulling data from JDBC source. Over here, hudi.streamer.jdbc URL, we provide in the JDBC URL. In this case, it's Postgres. Provide in the JDBC usage, provide in the JDBC password. And then we gotta provide the driver class, which is gonna be org.postgresql.driver. The table name. So in Postgres, the table name is sales. Okay. So here we're gonna say the table name to sales. Hopefully the font size is visible. Now this one right here, hudi.streamer.jdbc.table.incremental column name. So which column should Hudi use to fetch the data in an incremental fashion? So since we set up triggers, anytime I update anything, there's a column called updated at. This particular column would be updated. Again, in SQL Server, I assume it will be a row version. So you gotta use that particular column over here, right? That Hudi can use. Then we're gonna say hudi.streamer.jdbc.incremental pull. We're gonna set the incremental pull to true. And this setting right here basically means when the Hudi incremental pull fail, what it should do. So I set to true, meaning if the incremental pull fail, it's gonna basically perform the full table scan. Okay. All right. So now you must be excited. Okay, all these make sense. Now show me a demo now, right? Okay, let's see. So let me come to my over here. I don't have a Hudi table here, as you can see. Okay. So now let me Python sample read.py. Again, all it does is basically reads the data from that particular Hudi table, right? As you can see. So what I should be expecting is I should be expecting 4 records. So let's see if we see that in the Spark data frame. Fantastic, right? Sales ID 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now let's do this. Okay. Now let's play with this. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna perform a small change here. So let me see the column here. So for sales ID 1, I'm gonna change this one. Okay, so let me see, where did that go? Give me one sec. I'm trying to find that column over here. Give me one sec. All right. Okay, here. So I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna add **, and then I'm gonna save it. Okay. So now I made an update on the database, right? So hopefully, yeah. So if I come here, where did that go? Give me one sec. So I just need to find that column. Just need to expand this a little bit. Let me see. Here, sorry, my eyes are here, over here. Okay, **. So now what we will do is we'll fire the DeltaStreamer again. So I'm firing the DeltaStreamer again, and then we're gonna read the data from the Hudi table. So what I expect is I expect that ** to be there. So I expect that record to be updated. So my DeltaStreamer is now running. It's trying to fetch data from the JDBC source. So let's wait for this to complete. Should be done in a minute or so. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna run the Python file. So this will read the data from the Hudi table. And again, the expectation is to see the updated data in the Hudi table, right? So let's see. Reading the Spark data frame. All right, look at that. Works fine, right? Works like a charm. Again, if you make any changes again, so probably if you do hash, right? Then again, you can run the DeltaStreamer, and then you can again run the Python file to read data from the Hudi tables, and it would work flawlessly. So let's do it again just to make sure that I can show you, right? So let's wait for a minute or so. Again, you can configure other parameters as well. For example, page size and all these other stuff. Please refer to the documentation for further details. Okay. So let's wait for this to complete, and it looks like it has been completed. Now let's run sample read.py. Now we should see that hash in the Hudi table, right? Meaning we should see the new update that we made. And almost there, reading the data from Spark data frame. Look at that, fantastic, fantastic. So what you see how Hudi is providing you the tools necessary, and now you can ingest data from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many tables as you want in a nice structured approach. My part 3 of the video, I covered Hudi MultiTable DeltaStreamer. So you can follow that approach, and you can have as many tables as you want to bring from your JDBC sources, right? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. This is a complete hands-on guide. All the materials are given. So please make sure to go to the GitHub, clone the repository, try these things out. That's the best way to learn anything, okay? With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you believe I've done a fantastic job, you can like the video, and please make sure to share the video with your coworkers and colleagues. With that being said, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.